Well, I'm excited to be joined today by Matt Speer, who's the founder and CEO of PropertyManagement.com, and excited to share with you all that PropertyManagement.com is one of our sponsors for Elevate Sales Kickoff. So, want to introduce Matt to you all. Matt, how's it going, man? How are you?
Going well. Yeah, I'm excited. Lot of things happening here.
Yeah, well, we're getting into the heat of conference season. I know you guys are going to be on the road coming up for NARPM National, and really excited that you're going to be joining us for Elevate Sales Kickoff. So Matt, for the folks out there who don't know what PropertyManagement.com is, I'd love if you would share a little bit about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people, when they think about propertymanagement.com, they might think about the old propertymanagement.com where it's more of a static directory. Maybe you're going to get some leads from it. Maybe there might be some SEO benefit. I came from the property management world. I started out as an investor, turned property manager, and now I'm into, in the tech vendor scene, I guess now. And so, as a property manager, I feel like lead gen in terms of pay to play is kind of the old way to do things. And so when I had the opportunity to buy propertymanagement.com and roll out my vision, it was really this Carfax of property management kind of approach where we're in this industry where it's all built on trust and credibility, yet we don't have a trust layer. We don't have anywhere we can go to say, hey,
Mm.
this is a good property manager, or hey, we're good at this, and this is how we can stand out. And so, yeah, we're really excited about propertymanagement.com being that new resource for property managers. And so, yeah, our slogan right now is credibility is the new currency.
Mm. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you make such a great point. When I think about, the way that most people have thought about that trust factor as it comes to people finding them, it's very much like, oh, I'm the first or second option when I do a Google search, and I've got good reviews, right? You want to have a lot of reviews, but you also want to be 4 or 5 stars, and just I think you can probably speak to this better than anybody. Like, it sort of feels like the landscape is changing a little bit in terms of how people are making those types of decisions. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've moved into the AI search era. So, I mean, AI big buzzword. I don't see a lot of people talking about AI relative to search, and they may even have like different terms for AI search. I call it AI search just because it makes sense to me.
Sure.
But what does it mean that we're in this AI search area? Well, I mean, I would say a lot of people listen to this. It's like you've got ChatGPT on your phone right now. So what you used to pull Google up for, you're now pulling GPT up for, and it's more of a conversation, more long tail. You're
Mm.
looking for very specific answers to questions. And the reality is that I've heard, I mean, just anecdotally in conversation with property managers, but now started to really dig into the research. We're seeing about a 20 to 30% drop in leads generated online in the property management industry. And people don't know why that's happening.
Yeah.
I think it's because of AI search.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have heard the exact same thing. And, it's so interesting because I think a lot of people are aware that it's a challenge, right? They're seeing lead flow lower than they're used to, right? But nobody can really pinpoint why. And I think you're making a great point, which is people's buying habits are changing. The way that they're consuming information, the way they're doing research is a lot different, right? So as before, where somebody might be scrolling and looking at Google reviews, now they're going to Chat GPT to do that. I'm curious, obviously, if we know this to be true, like, how does propertymanagement.com kind of fit into that picture? How are you guys addressing that and, really leaning into the credibility piece and building that for property management companies?
Yeah, yeah. Before I answer that, I want to make sure too everybody sort of like understands maybe why, like just the simple why is this happening. So
Yeah.
like when you look at, I mean, just think about like your Google searches, right? So you go to Google, you search something. What's happening is I think everybody's seen the AI overviews that come up on the top.
Yep.
So a lot of people they're getting answers to their questions easily.
Mm.
And so if they get an answer to their question easily, they're not going and looking at the 10 links, clicking around, finding the property management website, digging around, booking a call, or filling out a form. And so there's a lot of these like one click searches. Or sorry, excuse me, not one click. I wish they were one click. There's 0 click searches
Yeah.
where they're getting the answer to their question. They're not landing on the site. And so sort of the result of that is that these people then, the people that actually do come through and land on your site, there's going to be fewer of those, but now they're more important
Mm,
because you have to be able to capitalize on those at bats, but also that kind of cohort of lead is more like they're going to be more engaged. They're not just looking for information. They're probably looking to potentially become a client. Like it's going to be an easier close, but also you're going to need to find ways to stand out in that pitch. And so I think that's where propertymanagement.com comes in. We're really wanting to be the trust credibility layer in the industry where you can go to propertymanagement.com, you've got a true match score, it's verified by objective performance and operational data. It includes owner surveys to supplement that verification process. Like what's better than your current clients saying how good you are and what you're good at,
yeah.
and then us being able to surface that on your profile on propertymanagement.com so you can highlight it in a sales conversation. And if you can do that, you should be able to capitalize on those at bats that you're still getting in this AI search era.
Yeah, and I mean, the wheels are turning for me just as a salesperson, right? If you're having a conversation with someone and you sort of have this unbiased way of saying like, "Hey, like just just look at our true match score. This is how we're doing. We're ranked at the top for our market, right?" Like you're kind of moving from these like sort of like I don't know, it's like cloudy sales speak about like, "Oh yeah, we've been in business 40 years and we have great customer service." And you're just like, as a prospect, it's like, "Okay, well, what does that mean? Everybody tells me they have great customer service." But what you're saying is like, "No, this is like a verifiable, clear-cut, data-driven approach to saying, yeah, we are the best." I mean, is that
Yeah.
kind of the gist?
That's right. I'm like squirming in my seat because I get so excited about it. It's like because as a salesperson, it's like
Yeah.
there's nothing better than having like ammo that
Mm,
is it's like, people always say, hey, there's no silver bullet. Things will change, but like a silver bullet here in this current kind of dynamic we live in as property managers, especially as salespeople in the property management industry, is like, how can you stand out? Because you touched on it. Your competition, when your potential prospective clients talking to your competition, every single time they have that conversation, they're the best property manager that ever existed.
right.
They're low days on market. Yeah, been around 40 years, family owned business.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like 1,000 review company that's exceptional. So
Yeah.
if you're pitching against that and you have no way to prove that you're better, I mean that's a swimming upstream kind of battle. And so we're really just trying to shift that dynamic for a lot of these really good property managers out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, you're getting me really excited about this too, especially as it relates to, sales kickoff and talking to salespeople about this. When the prospect can't really make sense of the points of difference, what do they go to? They just go to price, right? And so,
Yep.
like, I've had so many conversations with BDMs and salespeople in this industry who are so caught up on like, well, how do I overcome the price objection, or how do I talk about price? It's like if you're going to price, your product has become commoditized. And so
Yep.
you have to be able to articulate what it is that you do that's different. And then at the end of the day, if those things match up, right, the price that just kind of falls into place, right? It
Yeah. That's
doesn't
right.
become the forefront of the conversation. So
Yeah, and two, when you've got a prospect on the phone, or potentially in person, even better, if you got the ability to like a screen share, and you
yeah,
can say, "Hey, here's our profile on propertymanagement.com. Here's what that is. Here's what that means. Third party validated." You can really stand out, and you can shift the conversation from things like price, right? It's like, "Hey, what do you care about?" A lot of times they're going to say they care about peace of mind, communication, some of those softer sort of outcomes.
yeah,
I think if they come to a sales call and they have like 50 questions, that means they don't know much about you ahead of time.
right,
You want them to hopefully have some of those questions answered, maybe even before the call.
yeah,
Get that down to 5 questions. What you're going to find is that those 5 questions that they really care about, it's not going to be price. It's going to be, do I have peace of mind that this is a good operator? Can I trust that they're going to drive high ROI for me? It's
yeah,
like all these kind of emotional
yeah,
connections. And so if you can say, hey, if you go with somebody else, just make sure they're on propertymanagement.com and you're there and they're not, that's going to be hard.
right.
Now you've shifted, right? Now they're swimming upstream and you're sort of just, in your tube going down, easy sailing.
Yeah,
So
that's right. That's right. I love it. Well, Matt, I'm really excited. We're going to have you on a panel talking about AI actually, and specifically a lot of what we're discussing here, which is just kind of the way that the landscape is changing and what that means for folks that either own property management businesses, but also sales and marketing people as well. Because, like we said, it's not the same game that it was, even 5 years ago. It's changing every day. So,
Yep, that's right.
Matt, my last question for you is, obviously this is the first time we're putting this event on. I'm curious from your perspective, like what gets you excited about sales kickoff? Why was this something that you wanted propertymanagement.com to be involved in?
Yeah, I think that what you're doing, what you're putting together is awesome. And literally within 3 minutes of hearing about it, I'm like, how do I get involved in that? And I think the reason is that, you know, for me, it's, thinking back when I was running a property management business, I was doing the sales calls, and I know what that's like. It can feel sort of lonely, right? Of
Mm,
like you're just by yourself, doing this, you're running a property management business. And so being able to get together with other people that have these same challenges and, their day looks similar to yours, like just that collaboration, that energy,
mm,
and being able to do that at the beginning of the year and sort of like kicking off your full, perspective goals for the year. I think it's going to be a really powerful way to just sort of supercharge your kind of energy and your sales kind of motivation. And I think the companies that join this, I would love to see some sort of case study at the end to see like how many
yeah,
doors are they closing compared to everybody else that's sort of just kind of stuck in the normal day to day. And also I'm excited because like with propertymanagement.com, like I'm not there, I'm not going to be there to like sell to anybody.
right,
Because you might be hearing some of the stuff I'm saying, be like, all right, great pitch, Matt. What's it cost?
yeah,
Well, I'm like, maybe I'm crazy, but you can join for free.
yeah,
You can get a score, you can get leads, you can do all the things because I feel like the industry kind of transitioning to credibility is the new currency. That shouldn't be a pay to play lead gen platform, kind of all
right,
like kind of hidden and disguised
yeah,
in a way that makes it look like it's not. For me, it's like, all right, let's actually elevate the industry here. Let's lift, Dylan Scroggins always say, I know you know Dylan, he says
yeah,
like rising tide lifts all boats.
yeah.
Like, let's raise the industry up. Let's make it easier for us as salespeople in the industry to close. And yeah, I'm just excited to get this in front of people and couldn't be more excited for the event.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, and I think what's really cool about having you there, in addition to what you're doing with propertymanagement.com, is like, I mean, you have scaled a property management company. Like you did that. You've been an investor, right? And so your unique experience is going to allow you to speak to what some of these BDMs and business owners are facing every day right now. And what we really want to do with this event is for that to happen naturally through conversations, not vendor booths where people are awkwardly walking up and having well, tell me about what you do. It's like, no, Matt's going to be sitting at the table with you, and we're going to have small group discussions about some of this stuff, and Matt's going to be able to share his experience in property
Yeah,
management.
if
So
I was at a IMN in Austin, and I was actually just there, kind of walking the floor. We didn't have a booth or anything. We're still sort of in like stealth mode, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah,
But
yeah,
man, they had the hallway so tight that you're like walking through, and you're just trying to avoid eye contact with the
yes,
vendors. So yeah, this will be a
yeah,
refreshing opportunity where it definitely will be kind of the opposite of that dynamic. So really
that's
looking forward
awesome.
to it.
Well, obviously, we mentioned it a few times, but if folks want to learn more about propertymanagement.com, go to the website. But Matt, are there any other areas where people can find you or hear more about what you're doing?
Well, I've got a newsletter that I've been posting. I think I'm on like issue 13 or 14, doing it every week. I talk a lot about a lot of things related to sales. We're going to have that wired up. If you want to reach out though, propertymanagement.com, get verified is the best way to kick things off. Again, we also, if you want to send an email to matt.speer, and my last name's Speer at propertymanagement.com, you can send me an email and I can actually send you everything you'd need to get set up for free score, get verified over email too. If you're the salesperson that doesn't want to do a sales call, that's always good too.
Yeah, no, we'll
But
take
yeah,
that.
yeah, super easy. And then final thoughts on us. So we've got a lot of big updates coming. So if you go to our site, maybe you see this on LinkedIn or something, you go to our site, It's going to be completely updated. It's going to be a lot of really exciting sales enablement tools and things that we're going to be rolling out here in the next couple of weeks leading up to NARPM National. So look out for some of those things.
I love it. That's great. Well, Matt, thanks for your time, man. Really, really excited to have you involved with Elevate Sales Kickoff, and we'll see you in Nashville in January. Thanks.
Love it. Can't wait.